What is going on, young men between 18 and 29? I am the over 50 guy. Listen, one of the worst things that you could do, in my opinion, particularly, and I would say this for men of any age, but particularly in your age or at your age now, if you're between 18 and 29, is do the whole step parent thing. I know from experience about that gig because I did it not only once, but twice when I was younger. And I would absolutely say that that is a horrible deal for men. Now, I want to be very clear in saying that it has nothing to do with the kids, because they are just that. They're kids and they don't know and they don't understand. But you do. And what I would tell you guys first and foremost about that, and why I believe that that is a horrible deal for men, is that A, you get all the responsibility but no rights, right? As a step parent, you are absolutely expected to love, provide, protect, and do all of that for this child. But you really have no rights because it's not your child. I know of plenty of men who have taken care of children, worked, provided, and all of that, and they go to discipline the child and mom says no. In other words, yeah, you can take care of them, you can provide money for them, you can do all of that stuff, but whenever it comes to something that I don't want you to do, then you have no rights, right? With your own child, at least you can, listen, this is my child as well as yours. When you're a step parent, you don't have that. Secondly, you will always deal with some other man in your relationship and in your life, essentially. I was dating a girl who had a daughter, and this is consequently what broke up our relationship. You know, dad wasn't in the picture for years. And all of a sudden, you know, he wants to pop up and he wants to see his daughter and this, that, and the other. And, you know, of course, mom is, you know, well, it's about her and her father and this, that, and the other. So you will be quickly pushed to the side when it comes to dad. And I don't care if he's in the picture now or if he shows up later. You will play second to that. The child's mother and the father always has a bond. It's almost as if they're married, because that child ties them together. So they will always be around each other. They will always be on the phone. That is not something that, from experience, guys, I'll tell you, that is something that you really don't want to deal with. Another thing that I think about is how, and I mentioned it earlier, you stay with these children long enough and you develop relationships, love these children because you take care of them and you look at them, and for whatever reason, if mom decides to take them away, you have no rights or no access to these children that you have developed this bond with as if they were your own. Of course, it's a great deal for mom because at the end of the day, she has help. And whether that's from the father or the stepfather, it all benefits her. And no cut against her. I mean, do what you do. If you got men out there like I was early on that was crazy enough to do that, by all means, take advantage of that. But men, I am telling you that it is a horrible deal. I have been at hospitals. I've had hospital bills and things of that nature for children that barely even speak to me today. I have provided well and above. And, you know, no, you're not getting that money back. Everything that you invest into your stepchild or whatever, if things should happen to go south between you and mom, no one's giving you a refund. Certainly mom isn't. You would like to think that, you know, you pour into the life of these kids. And even if mom, you know, wasn't really letting the kids know how they should appreciate and respect you, you would think that, especially if these kids are of age, they would do that on their own. They won't, right? They absolutely will not. So at the end of the day, guys, I would prefer you not definitely not have children at this age, because again, you're building yourself, right? And you need to be selfish about your resources and your time in order to build yourself adequately. So I would say don't have any children at all at this point in your life. But absolutely don't sign on to be a step parent, a stepfather at this time in your life. Horrible deal. And I totally understand if you're in a situation like that now, you believe that, you know what, nope, these kids, I'm doing a good thing. These kids love me. I love them like they're my own. And that is great. I've been there and done that. But again, if something should happen, because you have all of the responsibility now, you have all of the expectation now, but for whatever reason, if mom decides to walk out with those kids, you have no rights. You're left with the same thing you came in with. Nothing. So because of that reason alone, it's a bad deal. It's just a bad deal for men. So if you're between 18 and 29, please, if you are with a young lady who has children, to say that you guys can't be friends and that's one thing. But a serious relationship or marriage, to a woman in that situation, I would say, in my opinion, in my experience, that would not be a good deal for you guys. And I would run from a situation like that. Nothing against the lady, nothing against the kids. I'm talking about you as a man and what works for you, or what works best for you. And what works best for you is not having to always deal with a baby daddy or daddies. What works best for you is not having to spend resources and time, or even have to split that between your own, to a woman in that situation. I would say, in my opinion, in my experience, that would not be a good deal for you guys. And I would run from a situation like that. Nothing against the lady, nothing against the kids. I'm talking about you as a man and what works for you, or what works best for you. And what works best for you is not having to always deal with a baby daddy or daddies. What works best for you is not having to spend resources and time, or even have to split that between your own children and children that don't belong to you, and not playing second, because you will. Listen, you're going to play second to children. I get that. But I would much rather play second to my own than somebody else's. So I just think it's a bad deal, guys, especially this time in your life. If you are up in age and you are accomplished and you got it like that and you want to make that decision, even then I would say, but you're in a better position at that point than you would be now. Bad deal now, guys, and I would run from that situation. Listen, hope that adds some value. I am the Over 50 guy. We'll be back with another one soon.